4:30, I'm gonna go ahead and call a meeting to order for July 27th, Christmas Sanitary District. And invite those of you that are able to stand to join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Vice President Uten.
Okay. Short prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, a roll call.
Thank you. Director Cheyenne Wright.
Here.
Director Nicole Wiltshire.
Here.
Secretary Arthur Perry.
Here.
Vice President Robert Uten.
Here.
President Mike Schaefer.
Here.
Thank you.
Late communications.
None, Mr. President.
No ceremonial matters.
No, sir.
Public comments. Since there are no one in the audience, I would ask if we have anybody online or on Zoom that has public comments.
No, sir.
Okay. Then we can move to the consent calendar. These are items considered to be routine. You can be acted upon by one motion. Is there anyone from staff or the board that wants to pull an item for separate discussion on the consent calendar? I'll move for approval.
One second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve. Passage unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now going to have a public hearing. Under item D to consider adopting resolution 2026-1009, confirming wastewater annual charges. And resolution 2026-1010, confirming solid waste annual charges for fiscal year 26-27 be collected with the general taxes. Counselor? Go ahead. Oh, got it.
This is now the time that anybody who wants to speak on this matter could now address the board. We should probably conduct 2 hearings and adopt the resolution separately. These are the charges that you've already adopted under Prop 218 that you set the rates. This is actually assessing the property with those rates, and this is an opportunity for any person that believes their property was misclassified to speak and advise you that of that misclassification, and then you can consider that. So that's the purpose of the hearing. And then when you do, if you do adopt the 2 resolutions, those will be sent to the district clerk will sign the written report that the charges have been assessed, and that will be delivered to the auditor, who will then assess the property on the next roll.
Do we have any comments from the public that we need to receive?
None, Mr. President.
I guess at this time, do we have any protests?
There were none received.
Then let's take action on resolution 2026-1009 for consideration. Any questions or comments with the board?
Do we want to adopt 2026-109?
Yeah.
Formality will open and close the public hearing on each one.
Okay, so we'll open the public hearing on resolution 2026-1009 at this time. Consider any comments or deliberation. Seeing none, we will now close the public hearing on 2026-1009.
I'd like to make a move to approve number 2026-1009, confirming wastewater annual charges.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, the motion to approve 2026-1009 passes unanimous. I will now then close the public hearing on that resolution and have a discussion and open a public hearing on 2026-1010. Any
No protests were received.
and no protests.
Make a motion to approve 2026-10-10, confirming solid waste charges for 2026-2027. Be collected by the general taxes.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any deliberation? Then I will call for a go. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that resolution 2026-10-10 passes unanimous, and I will close the public hearing this time. Okay,
Thank you.
good, thank you. Move to general manager's report, item E on the agenda, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. Caitlin Tran will be giving this report.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board. In front of you is ordinance number 143, which proposes increasing the district capital asset capitalization threshold from 5,000 to 10,000 by revising the operations code section 4.03.010I and 4.03.090A. Under the current policy, asset costing 5,000 or more with a useful life greater than 5 years are capitalized and depreciated. Since this threshold was established, inflations and rising equipment and construction costs made the current threshold less reflective of today's asset values. The proposed revision will increase the threshold to $10,000, allowing lower value assets to be expended rather than capitalized. This will reduce the administrative effort required for tracking and depreciation while allowing staff to focus on more significant assets. The change remains consistent with the generally accepted accounting principles and the Governmental Accounting Standards Board guidance. The District Council has reviewed the ordinance, and from a financial standpoint, the change is not expected to have a material impact on the district financial statements. Therefore, staff recommends that the board adopt ordinance number 143, approving revision to the operations code to increase the capital asset capitalization threshold from 5,000 to 10,000. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for the
Makes sense.
Mr. West so low. That's a good question.
I'll second. And give a motion to approve ordinance 143. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? The motion to adopt ordinance 143 carries unanimous. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Item 2.
Thank you, Mr. President. So a couple of years ago, the board of directors adopted ordinance number 139 that granted the general manager authority to approve out-of-state travel to Nevada and Arizona, as many of those conferences that we attend are held in those states. All other out-of-state travel requires board approval, and tonight staff has 2 requests for out-of-state travel. The first one is the Springbrook User Conference in Orlando, Florida. Springbrook is our accounting software, and they have an annual conference every year. Caitlin Tran, our finance manager, is requesting to attend that conference. That's in late October. And then we have another conference it's called the WebTech conference. And what does WebTech stands for? It stands for the Water Environment Federation's Technical Exhibition and Conference. And that is one of the premier conferences for water and wastewater professions in the country. It's held in New Orleans in September. And this year, Robert Morris, our engineering technician, is requesting to attend that conference. Both conferences are in the budget. And so there's plenty of money for the send staff there. So staff is just seeking board approval.
Good. Other questions from anybody? I'll move the approval of travel to the Springbrook. And the other, I'm not gonna.
Is what we call it.
Webcam, okay. So my motion is to approve both requests.
Second that.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Enjoy Orlando. At least you're not going in July or August when it's 140% humidity. So. Okay, item 3.
Thank you, Mr. President. This item is requested by the board to bring back for consideration, and that is the creation of a public outreach ad hoc committee. And this would be a temporary committee that would consist of 2 board members, and we're also recommending, staff is also recommending 2 citizens advisory committee members to serve on this temporary committee where we will discuss outreach efforts to increase our outreach efforts to promote our recycling efforts, particularly in the Blue Can, and also, as you know, as our last waste composition study, we need to get out there more word about the organics recycling. So we're seeking board approval on who do you want to appoint on the board to serve on this committee, and then on September 9th, staff will have a staff report to the CAC requesting 2 appointments. So ideally, the first meeting for this committee will probably be in September, beginning of October.
Would those meetings be held during the daytime?
Again, we most likely, but I will leave it up to the committee what's the appropriate time for them to meet.
Sure. Are they public meetings? Yes.
Legally, we don't have to, but for transparency purposes, we do make it public. Yes.
Well, I'm looking forward to this ad hoc committee. I'd like to volunteer to be one of the board members on it. And I'm glad we're including the CAC. It's cool that CRNR is interested in joining as well formally. And sure, I'm in favor of it being during time outside of traditional working hours so that people can join. I'm sure we'll find the availability that works for the CAC members. So I would definitely like to make a motion to approve the creation of the ad hoc committee. Can we do it all in one fell swoop?
Let's approve.
Can we continue to set?
No, let's approve the committee and then.
Okay, cool.
A second motion.
All right, we have a motion to establish the ad hoc committee. Follow the recommendations from staff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion to create the committee is unanimous. In terms of members of the committee, I would like to make a motion to approve Director Wright and Director Wiltshire as the board representatives of that committee.
I'll second that.
Discussion, okay with the appointees?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have our 2 votes of the committee. Just as we're meeting with Chairman or Committee Chair Tao, he and I and you on Monday the 3rd.
Next Monday.
Just make sure we include this on that. I'm sure
It is.
on that.
It is.
Agenda. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think we discussed a lot of stuff that we should probably dig in a little deeper.
Who from CRNR is going to be attending, do you know, or is it?
Julie, it's Julie.
That's good.
By the way, in terms of public outreach, as some of you know, I'm a pretty big Angels fan. I like to watch the Angel games on TV. We had a commercial on Angel TV the other night. I was so impressed. I screamed to my wife to look at my TV. But it was good commercial and
Great.
Good job.
Awesome.
Look at that a lot. Facebook. Been really good.
It was really good. Okay, anything else, Scott?
Nope. Nothing.
Mr. Esker, you're up.
Thank you very much. Good evening, board members. A few items to talk about tonight. Number one, our
No.
project 346 Harbor Overflow Addition. That project will probably be started just after the fair moratorium ends. We've been talking to the city. I think the permits due anytime now. And I'm looking forward to getting that project started. It's about the same time we're gonna test our, Mendoza Force Main redundancy project is now complete. There's a couple minor cleanup things that the contractor needs to do, and then they need to add a cam lock fitting on one of the discharge points. Other than that, it's done, and then we're gonna basically turn off that pump station for 6 or 8 hours and see what happens. And see if the water overflows properly and goes over to the bakery. So that's gonna be a fun thing if you're an engineer or PE engineer like me. Project 515 Autoplex Siphon is out for bid, and that project, just to cover for you, is going to potentially rehabilitate 2 of the siphon pipes that go underneath the county storm drain channel from the Autoplex off of Bristol near the Audi dealership there. And then it'll go underneath and it'll come up where the golf course is on the south side there, and eventually make its way to our current pump station. So that project's out to bid, and in about a month or so, month and a half, should have bids, and we'll recommend an award for that one. Depending on that cost. Our good news, I met with Edison and our contractor last week. And the Irvine Harbor Pump Station electrical improvements, just specifically the Irvine, because Harbor's been done for quite a while now. But Irvine is going to start moving forward. Unfortunately, I'm gonna send an email to them and copy our general manager, basically stating that if, the 12 to 20 week window that they're promising to get back to us is unacceptable. Because we can do our work, first 5 days we'll do our work, and it's gonna take them almost, like I said, between 12 and 20 weeks to do their work, and then we gotta come back and do about 3 or 4 days worth of work. So it's just frustrating that it's all us, and then they get to wait. So I'm a little frustrated with that, since our general manager will write a higher level administrator or executive at Edison an email once I get my written. And then project 615 Industrial Way, I think we're finally to the point where we're gonna start geotechnical work. Unfortunately, because of the fair moratorium, I probably won't get that done until middle of August. And then our designer will finish up the designing, we will get that project out to bid. The last thing is, next month, I thought I was gonna bring project 630, a sewer condition assessment project, to this board for review and consideration tonight, but it'll be August. So that'll be coming back to you, it's probably $1.4 million worth of work over the next 5-year window, so that'll be a fun one to award. And that concludes my report. Are there any questions or anything I can answer that maybe I didn't cover, or if it was in my report?
I just have a question, you showed the video that Mendoza.
Yes.
So that was, is that gonna be covered, or is it gonna be the pipe connected? We saw the flow.
Yeah, that, before we put the top on that new manhole, that's when we took the video, we tested it. And that way, if we had to change any fittings or do any work, we didn't have to crawl down underneath a short manhole. So that manhole is covered up, it's got a frame to cover on like every other manhole.
Check.
Mark, you have a project to do grade 4 and 5. Sewer system improvements.
Yes and no, it does veer away because it has failed. I used last year's budget from 405 because it's basically a failed pipeline, so I'm using that to work on industrial way. And then we also used a portion of the money to work on Autoplex siphon because those 2 pipes have failed. So that's what I've been using the money for. I didn't call them for grade 4 and 5 defects, but I diverted the money because both of those pipelines have failed.
You have a 5-year plan to videotape the sewers,
Yes, sir.
and you discover things that are near ready to fail and potential and grade fives more imminent. Do we have a budget to do those, and will you do them annually then over the 5 years?
Yes and no. I'm gonna say January is when staff start budgeting, so I will start putting together capital improvement budgets for the next 2-year budget period. And by then we will be well underway with the sewer assessment, so by the time budget recommendation moves forward to this board of directors for consideration, we should have at least some data on the numbers of 4s and 5s, at least I'm gonna say 16 to 20% of the sewer system will have been CCTV, so.
But are you gonna do those projects annually?
Yes, and we have been doing them annually for the past 5 years. Sometimes I rename them because if I find a grade 5, which basically means it's in really bad shape. Instead of calling it grade 5, I actually name it the sewer segment line, but it is for the 4s and 5s.
How many 5s do you think we have currently?
I'd have to get back to you on that, Director.
We really pushed that idea of getting the 5s done as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah, we wanna get the 5s, and we think failure is imminent, we need to work on those, get line point liners. There's 3 different on the grade 4 and 5 repairs is what I call them, because you can do point liners, you can line the sewer, you can do a dig and replace, and there might be some other methods of repairing, but that's the money that was budgeted to do those types of projects, and they've been very similar from year to year to year. You need to continue that program, Rick.
Bob, this is coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had some years you do the whole system, and you had 120, 75. Upwards of a large number. Our sewer system is getting old, so. I think Art wants you to get after them.
I do.
And we should, and we will, I will. Like I said, come for the budget submittal, I'm guessing this coming, spring. We will have recommendations and we'll have a lot more information to make some budget proposals, and your general manager and I, and then the wastewater manager. We've been talking about what's coming up, what we need to do, and there's some other, like I said, important needs that we have to consider that are also capital related.
Are those decisions based on the amount of money we have available, or?
Well, yes,
Budget?
both. The good news, well, I don't know if it's good news, bad news, but it's news. I have the the sewer rate study will be, if it's not out this month, it'll be out next week. We'll advertise it, we will get a firm on board, and then we will be looking at the rates, which I will be working with RBH on our master plan, and the grade 5s that we get videotaped between now and then, and we'll be looking at all the different things that have come up in our system that we know about. We'll come up with some budget recommendations as part of that.
Okay, else for Davis. Thank
you, Mr. President, board members. This is your quarterly review of your investment portfolio. The Dow today closed at 52,210. It was up 263 on the day, and it's up 8.5% year to date. Fed funds rate remains unchanged. Fed funds rate remains unchanged at 3.75%, with the inflation sticking up at 3.5%. Your portfolio is already 3.542% at the end of June. It was budgeted to earn 2.061 for the in the budget, so we beat the budget, so that was a good thing. We do have 9 COVID era investments that we're still sitting in the portfolio. Those will fall off between now and January of next year. The weighted average rate on those COVID era investments is 1.13%. And as each one falls off, we're replacing those with current market rates. Ranging in June, we had two securities fall off at 1.05, and they were replaced 1 at 4.5, 1 at 5%. So we're seeing some slight uptick in that as the COVID or investment fall off. With that, I'm available for any questions you may have.
Questions for Mark? Price of gas.
Too much.
That's all it's funny, the other day, I noticed it had come down. Pretty good. Pretty good, relatively speaking. But like yesterday or over the weekend, it's right back up to its highest level. It's obviously an indication of what's going on in the Middle East, but good night.
Depends on where you buy the gas.
I won't sit in line at Costco, sorry.
You gotta be there at 6 in the morning.
No. No.
Mhm.
All right, Mark's report is a action item, so I'll skip any of this question. Any other questions or a motion?
Motion to approve the investment report for the month of June. Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimous. Thanks, Martin. Okay, Counselor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just briefly, I know you've all heard a lot about AI, and I'm the least competent to talk about AI, but there's some things with AI and legal profession that are pretty interesting, so just wanted to briefly share some of that. Over 69% of lawyers are now using AI in some form, sometimes with bad results. I recently took an NCLE class on where it's going in the current rules. And we found out that about the most famous case you may have heard about, where the attorney cited a case to the judge that he relied on the AI to come up with, and the facts, the case, the citation, the name of the case, everything was wrong about it. The judge, when they researched to make a ruling, determined where did you come up with this? And he said, well, AI, but I asked my paralegal to look it up, and it said not good. An attorney signs a brief. He's responsible to have read the brief, read the citation, and know what he's representing to the court, which is kind of like what we call black letter law. And he didn't do it, so he was sanctioned severely. And now the Bar Association is coming up with rules that are going to be kind of tough. But the thing that I found out about it was that it was interesting is it's not a research tool. I always assume it's kind of like Google. It's not a research tool. It's predictive. It doesn't look up the law. If you ask it, how many okras are grown in, or where's the most okras grown in the United States, it doesn't research that. It looks at Texas is the biggest state. It has some climate that might be right for that, and it says Texas. And it just comes up with things. And when it comes up with a case or some kind of result like that, the term is called a hallucination, and that's the way the law refers to it. You cited a hallucination to the court. You didn't check it, and so that's kind of where the law is right now. One practical result was for Amazon. They were kind of an early user of AI, and they determined they were going to use it in their HR department so that they wouldn't be discriminatory in their hiring practices. So they use an AI tool, and AI learns by patterns and absorbs patterns, and that uses that to predict. To absorb the patterns of what was done, and without trying to be discriminatory, it was making the same decision because it had learned from the past patterns. It was picking the same people for the jobs, and AI was discriminatory, so they had to get rid of their whole program and go back to human beings doing it. So it's a brand new world, and facing it together.
Alan, when you speak about law, is that state law or federal?
I'm sorry.
Are we talking about state law or federal law?
State is a state law it's the state bar rules, but the federal's dealing with it too, so. I'm not sure who's ahead right now in regulating, but a lot of times they adopt each other's rules and. I'm not sure, I know for sure California's involved, and they haven't adopted the rule yet.
I know a lot of states aren't really happy with doing the AI, because it takes a lot of land and a lot of reserves in water and power, and it makes up power bill. But it's under 50% approval.
Oh, yeah, and some of the cases on the, not the cases, but the developments in, the building of data centers they're really very heavy users of water.
Yeah.
And it's amazing when the best place to put them is in Nordic countries. But you can't just rely on Nordic countries, you have to, have regional centers too that do it, and those are not as friendly for water, and it needs to be a cool climate too. So, we're trying to figure that out also.
California's hurt for water, basically.
Yeah.
That's
Not a good state.
difficult.
Yeah.
So is there any chance the Law Brothers and Morgan and Sweet James can get some of this artificial intelligence? I mean, with PI cases, you know, the patterns and things are gonna be
You can,
making these guys even richer.
yeah, you can still use AI, it does pretty good for summarization and things like that, but, you just can't let it do your legal research and, you always have to have the human oversight. That DTLA is the one the downtown law group is the one that's in all the trouble with the state bar right now for doing a lot of inappropriate things.
It is a different world. Okay, anything else for Alan? Thank you as always, Counselor.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to local meetings. Bob, we'll start.
Yeah, there was no closed session meeting, so the meetings, the closed meeting. One item though, is they discussed the public affairs strategic plan for fiscal 24 to 26. And so as you're getting ready to work with the new ad hoc committee, you might want to review that. The general manager's compensation and benefits were discussed. They have a massive amount of supplemental engineering services. Probably about 54 million, so they hired two very large firms. AECom and Jacobs, and provided them with up to $28 million to help provide engineering support. And that all took about 12 minutes.
Good meeting.
Yes.
All right, Art, start with.
There's no meeting this month, they usually take this month a week off, so.
Same with Locon takes July off. ISDOC, I think there are a couple of things for all of you for ISDOC. The main topic of discussion at the last ISDOC meeting had to do with election of officers. So ISDOC is looking for people to run for their offices. And if you have any inclination to get involved in it, I've always enjoyed it. I mean, I think I think they do a really good service for all the special districts in the county. So any of you are interested, I'm sure Nolani can hook you up with Heather Baez from Orange County Water District. She's from Modoc. And anyway, it's worth taking a look at if you're interested at all. Also, this Thursday is Scott had mentioned in his report last week, the ISDOC quarterly meeting luncheon is this Thursday at 11:30. And make sure you let Nolani know. Speaker is Neil McCormick from CSDA. So he gets to spend the night, I guess, Wednesday night. CSDA, just a reminder that the annual conference is coming up in sweltering Palm Desert in a couple of weeks. I'm sure.
The board is registered.
Good. The other thing with CSDA, I happen to sit, or I'm part of the governance and local revenue expert, I don't know what that, feedback team and legislative committee working group. Aaron Avery, who is the legislative guy with CSDA, sent an email out asking about a subject that when I first read it, I thought, oh, that's no big deal, but the more I thought about it, there is a bill being proposed, SB 1005, Caballero, local agency payment rounding amount. And it has to do with this idea that pennies are disappearing. And the bill is addressing how agencies will do the rounding and whether or not rounding and not charging people the extra pennies could violate a gift of public funds.
Wow.
And so they're deliberating. Aaron was asking for feedback on it, and I guess it could be a gift of public funds if we waive your 2 cents or 3 cents or whatever they round up. So I'll keep an eye on that one and let you guys know. I just thought that was an interesting subject.
We don't have any cash transactions, do we?
No, it's
Yeah.
mostly done with checks and credit cards or payments.
You know, it's getting to the point where we're not gonna have money anymore. Can't even get a hot dog at an Angel game with cash, you gotta give them a credit card. And the thing that, you know, they hand you the little machine and you know, the first thing you see when you get the little machine, don't you? What's that? How much do you want to leave a tip?
Oh, really?
I mean, those vendors at Anaheim Stadium are making more money now than they ever imagined they were gonna make as their own. You know, you can't not tip them, right? SDRMA, we have a board meeting next week, so I get to go to lovely Sacramento next week, and I'll report next month on any of that. Any other meetings?
Well, Arlene, had the recognition meeting on July 29th.
This one's.
This Wednesday.
And it's gonna be at lunch, right?
Yes,
That's
11:30.
Sort of 12:30.
Yes, 12:30.
Food will be here at 11:30.
Food will be here about 11:30, but the presentation will. The board president from CSDA, Lorenzo Rios, will probably begin around 12:30.
Do you want us here at 11:30?
Lunch will be provided at 11:30.
So are they gonna go to the desert?
No, that's how we're doing it here.
Okay,
That's right.
Yeah.
But maybe do the post spots.
Yeah, no, you can't make it there.
The other meeting, just real quick, Waco. I thought this was finally an interesting Waco meeting. There was the farmer, the lady that runs the water distribution for New Mexico, all of New Mexico, I think. And she's a pecan farmer or a pecan farmer, sure. And I thought that was really good direction and some things that she said about the Colorado River and how they determine who gets what.
Well, the feds are soon gonna make that determination.
That she talked about.
They can't make a decision.
Well, you got all the states, so you look at the pictures of Lake Mead, Lake Powell, and somebody's gonna be in trouble. Okay, any other meetings? Anybody have? All right. Then we have no old business or new business, so oral communications and direct comments. Anybody have anything? Anybody from staff? Anything else we need to do? Okay. If there's nothing else, then I'm gonna adjourn the meeting to our August meeting. See, that is
Maybe August 31st.
August 31st. All right, we're adjourned.
Thank you.